Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for tonight, November the 4th. We have a 12-game slate. Lots of things to talk about, lots of injury news. We got some other suspension news to discuss as well. Hope you guys had a good night last night. Just missed catching in double-ups on both sides, 250 on DraftKings, and Fanduel hit like 302.3. So, just need a couple more points from, well, basically just like one or two more points from one of the guys to get over the cash line, but wasn't able to happen. Did hit on FanDuel NFL, so made up for it a little bit. But 2-game slates usually go light anyways. Now we have a nice 12-gamer to get it tonight. So as always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it for the like button. Subscribe if you have not already. You can check out Twitter for updates. I post the updated core, which we'll probably have tonight with all these teams in action. We'll get a lot of news throughout the day. And you can check out the website if you want to join us. So starting off at the point guard position, you have Luka Doncic, $12,400. It's coming off of another great game where they able to come back in the fourth quarter against the Jazz, who were looking to go 7-2 on the season, and now they're still really good so far, 6-3 somehow. But I don't think I'll get to Luka Doncic. He's just too expensive at 12-4 on a slate where you have so many other guys to pay up for. Ja Morant, same type of deal. I don't mind him at 10K, but you're having Embiid without James Harden. You have Kevin Durant without Kyrie. Those guys I'd rather get to in terms of spend-ups. Donovan Mitchell has the questionable tag. If he's not able to play, then he'd be a nice bump for Garland, who didn't miss a beat in his first game back after missing most of the game so far, except for the first one. He played 42 minutes after they said he would play in a shorter burst, but just couldn't be stopped out there. 62 fantasy points. Tremendous performance from him. You have Devin Booker, 89. It's a pretty expensive price tag. I mean, he's good for like a kind of a safe floor, but unless like Chris Paul is out and he's getting more ball handling, just not getting you a lot of assists or rebounds to really give you like 60-point upside unless he just puts up 40 of real life points. Other picks in the 8K range, don't have too much interest really. I think I'll go maybe Halliburton, but it's a tough matchup against Miami. You have Rozier. I mean, they're desperate for one of these guards to come back. I mean, he's still doubtful. Like, I might as well just rule him out. I mean, he's been doubtful for like the whole season except for the games that he has played. Chris Paul, $7,800. Had a great game last time out. I mean, he's been racking up the assists. But still, I think there's some other guys to consider. Looking below 7,000, you have Tyrese Maxey at 65. He should benefit by just playing monstrous minutes, but also just having the ball in his hands a lot and getting you maybe a little bit more assist opportunities. But without James Harden, Maxey should benefit. We've seen him put up 50 and 60 points already this year, fantasy-wise. 40 points as well. Just going to get more usage. Harden was a very high usage player. Take him out. It's going to go to Maxey, go to Embiid. It's going to go to Tobias. It's going to go to Melton a little bit. So even though they're going up against the Knicks at home, I do like the Sixers side a little bit. Other picks, like don't mind Clarkson against his former team, the Lakers. He's been with a lot of former teams, but Lakers are one of them. Also have below $5,000 some value picks. DeAnthony Melton at 44. He missed last game, but he's not on the injury report tonight. So $4,400 should be starting alongside Maxey in the backcourt. He looks like a pretty good value. You have Colin Sexton as well at 44. He got up to 30-plus minutes last game. Now, 2 out of the last 3 games, he's played over 30 minutes. So coming off the bench, he still gets you some good usage. And matter of time before he continues to play these many minutes every night. And we'll see what they decide to do at the deadline. If they do decide to ship out Mike Conley, then Colin Sexton will be getting a lot more minutes going forward. Over at shooting guard, also we have the Nets are super depleted at the point guard position because no Kyrie. He's suspended for like at least 5 games. Simmons is out. He's not traveling on this road trip. So you're going to have Patty Mills, who's not been playing that many minutes for some reason. It's been a bit interesting. Even in the games that Simmons has missed, he hasn't played a ton. But we'll see who they decide to start. They might decide to start Edmund Sumner. If that is the case, then at this price tag, he's going to be a good value pick to get in there, 33, because they don't really have too many other guys. Seth Curry's been, we'll see. They kind of been managing his maintenance all year. He's only played in 1 game, and he's kind of been ruled out for all the other ones that he's been questionable or doubtful in. You have Kevin Durant at 10-3. He's going to have to do everything for the team. At this price tag, not having Kyrie, already averaging 32 points per game. You just don't have too many other guys to really have to put the ball in the basket. So Durant looks like a great pay up. But over at shooting guard, you have Paul George, 95. It's a good matchup, but I'll probably get to some other guys here. I don't mind Bradley Beal, but like I said, you have all these questionable guys, so we'll probably get some other guys to look at. And in terms of the pay-ups, like Durant and Embiid are the guys I really like above 10K. We saw Tyler Hero benefit really well last game without Jimmy Butler, as you expect. He put up 26 and 12. Devin Vassell is back, so his price tag is up there now. So he's 66 after being in the 5K for the last few games that he did play. I mean, he's been out for 10 days. So it's not like a must-play anymore at that price tag, which is good. LeVert, 65, still started even with Garland back, so his playing time is pretty secure. Yeah, Buddy Hield has been balling, but it's not the easiest matchup. Going up against the Heat, they've had a nice little 3 days stretch where they haven't played the Pacers. 5K, possibly like Klay Thompson. I mean, the Warriors are 3 and 6. They need wins. It's not desperation time right now, but the Western Conference is pretty stacked, so they don't want to keep falling behind, and it's not an easy one against the Pelicans tonight. Other picks would be in the 4K range, possibly like Norman Powell. And value-wise, you have Joe Harris is going to start and have to shoot and hopefully can make some shots tonight. So and Colin Sexton, another guy that I like for value-wise. Over at small forward, your pay-up is Kevin Durant. He's 10-3. Just going to get to him. It's a spot where he's going to get all the usage he can handle. Possibility of flirting with triple-doubles, at least double-doubles. Playing big minutes and going to have to carry the team for the next 5 days. Or at least the next 5 games minimum. They're still like plus 260 to make the playoffs, which I kind of... Or plus 260 to not make the playoffs, which I kind of like. And the Warriors are like plus 900 to not make the playoffs. So we'll see. 2 teams that are struggling so far this year that nobody really expected. Other picks at small forward, don't have too much interest in the 8K range. Possibly Jaylen Brown at 82. Keldon Johnson and Vassell are back, so not too much interest in the Spurs side anymore, which is good. Well, they've been good when you have played them, but at least we're not going to get so many chalky guys on the Spurs anymore. We'll see if Van Fleet's his status is still questionable. If he's out again, then you just got to load up on the Raptors. That's what Nick Nurse loves to do whenever Van Fleet or Siakam, one of those guys, misses. The other starters just benefit, minus the guy that kind of steps in place. Like Koloko is not going to get too much usage, but the other guys are going to really step up and benefit. Value-wise here, Tobias, 58. I'll go ahead and put him in at power forward because great price tag on him at 58 as well. He's going to get, now at least more shots. Some of these games he was shooting under 10 times. You're probably not going to see that happen again. And he's been pretty consistent with the 30-plus fantasy point games and great price tag, decent matchup. He has shot the 3 pretty well this year, and he's going to get more opportunities to shoot without James Harden for the next month or so. Other value picks, you're looking at guys in the below $5,000 range. Joe Harris would be one just because they don't have like anybody else to score besides Durant. And value-wise, it would be like Sumner, who I like. At 37, I do like that. You can play him at 2 spots. Power forward, pay-up is, we'll see, Giannis has the Q tag as well, but he's probable. But we know sometimes it doesn't really mean anything for Mike Budenholzer. You have a guy probable, then he'll be ruled out in the afternoon. You have the Lakers coming off of a nice win, which Matt Ryan saved them with the last second winner to make the playoff, or to force overtime. Jimmy Butler has been ruled out again, so you're going to see some of the guys on the Miami side benefit. So you can definitely look at like Tyler Hero, but he's still pretty expensive. I don't mind Lowry at like $6,300, and you can possibly look to like Strus or Vincent, but they do still have a good amount of value picks to kind of absorb. And also Bam Adebayo is questionable. If he's out as well, then you're really going to be wanting to look at Miami, but we'll get to that once we get that news. Other picks here, like Randall, I don't mind. Markkanen and Keldon Johnson, guys in the 7K range that both have been absolutely awesome this year. I like Markkanen a little bit more. 6K range, we have Simons as questionable. If he misses, then Hart and Grant are going to have to step up and do more offensively. Still have a pretty good price tag on PJ Washington at 58. But he's still been a little bit up and down, but I don't mind him if you're playing a lot of lineups. Strus, probably see him in the starting lineup tonight. And we know the Clippers still without Covington and still without Kawhi Leonard. So once again, Like Paul George will benefit a little bit. Powell will get some more value and usage. Over at center, you have a lot of guys questionable here. Embiid's been sick for a bit. He hasn't played since the 29th, but assuming he's in, then he's going to look good against the Knicks without James Harden there. Siakam is 98. If there's no Van Fleet, you can still consider him. Other picks would be Bam at 77 if he's in. Gobert is questionable, so lots of guys are sick right now. Looks like if Gobert misses, then Cat will be a great option at 88. He'll get more rebounding opportunities and just more looks at the basket down low. Ayton is now probable, so that's good after he said he was going to miss multiple weeks, so made a faster recovery than expected. Don't mind Zubats, but not the easiest matchup against Pirtle. Portal on the other side. He still plays decent minutes, and he has put up good games, so looks like a good tournament option. Maybe a little bit scary in cash with them having Vassell back and Keldon Johnson is back after missing just one game. Then we have Miles Turner. He's $5,700. Still like the price tag on him. If Miami's down Bam, they're already down Butler. It should be a closer game, and they're at home. So at 57 for the upside that he'll give you, I don't mind him right now. We'll see if we get more news throughout the day, but we know Turner can put up a good game if he has a big game with blocks, and right now he's going to have opportunities to do good things offensively and get some opportunities to score, as well as rebound and block some shots. And then last but not least, over at the guard spot, you can also look at him at forward because we do have a lot of other guards to look at, but like Sumner, 33, just as a value pick. Just, if he starts, he looks good. If they decide to start Patty Mills, then you can go to Patty Mills instead. But, Sumner's been seeing a little bit more minutes right now, but really don't have too much idea with the new coach, what they decide to do, who they decide to start with without Simmons. But, I don't mind these 5, and it still leaves you with over 6K left. So take advantage of some of the Sixers without Harden, possibly without Embiid. Brooklyn Nets, you want to get to some of them just without Kyrie, who was, taking averaging 30 points or games with 30 points in the last game. He kind of brought that down a lot, just with 4 points, I believe. But the Nets, you're going to want to get to them. And then just get to some overall value picks. We'll probably get a lot of news throughout the day with all these guys questionable, but this is what I got from a first look perspective on DraftKings. Let's go look at FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel point guard picks, you have Luka at 11.8, so he's cheaper than he is on DraftKings the last few games, so don't mind it, but we'll probably get some other guys to look at. 8K range, Cade Cunningham at 84. I think I passed on him on DraftKings, but he's 77, I believe. He looks good on both sides. I love playing him. Maxey on FanDuel, they bumped his price tag up to 82, so I'm not in love with that. I'd rather get to Simons if he's in. Against the Suns, we know how good he is without Lillard there. 6K range, Lowry at 65. Without Butler and possibly without Bam, he's going to look pretty good. They already priced up Melton at 6K, so FanDuel's not wasting any time adjusting for the James Harden news. DraftKings has been a bit slow so far this year to adjust to some of those stuff. And value-wise, don't mind Gabe Vincent and Patty Mills if he's starting, or we'll look at Sumner's price. Now, he's 36. Don't mind him either. Right now, put in Sumner at the point guard position. Over at shooting guard, you have Paul George only 88. It is a good price tag on him. Did have that one crazy good game, but we're still getting a sub 9K price tag on Paul George without Kawhi. So it is a good matchup against the Spurs as well if you wanted to consider him. Cade is in a decent matchup. Cleveland's good defensively, but at least they're at home and he just gets so much usage right now. Killian Hayes has been dreadful for the team. And then you have guys a little bit expensive here. You can put some of these in your lineup, but we'll look to some better point per dollar plays if we can find any. Tyler Hero is 7K, but it's a different price tag than it is on DraftKings. And I like Hero 7K more than Lowry at 65 on FanDuel. Hero will do more. Well, has a higher ceiling, I'd say. Will take more shots and can completely just take over a game. And adding to the list of injuries on the Hornets, you have Hayward is out, so possibly, they priced up some of these other guys that you would look to, like Oubre, and then McDaniels is 53 on FanDuel. Possibly you can look to those guys on DraftKings instead. Other picks would be Hart or Vassell if you wanted to go to those guys in the 6K range, 5K. We saw Clay have a great game last night, but it's a back-to-back traveling. Not too confident in that, in him shooting really well again. And, like Martin, decent option, but 47, don't know if I'll get there. Powell is still cheap at 43, if you wanted to consider him. Over at small forward, put in Durant. I'm putting in Durant on both sides. He's 10-4, 10-3, very nicely priced. Like $1,600 cheaper than Giannis, which, Durant could get you similar fantasy points to Giannis tonight just with having to do everything. LeBron's at a good price tag too at 95, but we know Butler's out, so some of these guys on Miami will benefit, like Hero. Tobias also priced up, so the Philly guys look a lot better on DraftKings than they do on FanDuel. Don't mind Kuzma at 65. His price tag is nice, and those are the main guys above, like the mid-range, and then value-wise, don't mind Sadiq Bey at 52. He's pretty cheap. You have a sub 5K price tag on Max Strus. Can definitely get behind that. Cam Johnson is only 45, and he's been seeing a lot of minutes this year, just without the Crowder situation going on. So he looks like a great value. Power forward, once again, waiting on the Van Fleet news once we get that this afternoon, but Siakam is still a great option. Both power forward and center eligible, which is nice. 74 for Randall is decent. Don't know if I'll get anybody that's really that expensive. And a Turner 72 on FanDuel once again. Play those guys on DraftKings. Washington 63 is going to have to. They're going to need somebody to step up and score without Hayward tonight as well. McDaniels probably start tonight for them, but he's already not like super cheap at 53. I mean, he's priced probably where he should be, maybe a little bit overpriced. But I'll go to Cam Johnson instead. Guy that's super cheap at $4,500. Been just really productive whenever he does get opportunities. I mean, almost 50 fantasy points last game, 32, almost 30. The previous game sees 30 plus minutes in close games. So a lot to like at $4,500. And then last but not least, over at center, if Embiid is in 10K without Harden, I'll definitely look to try to get to him. We'll see if Gobert gets ruled out. I love Towns. And then Bam is questionable. We'll see who they decide to start if he's out. So a lot of things up in the air right now at center. Probably change by the end of the day, and then you even can consider Nurkic, but he's a little bit expensive at 76. So right now, putting in Zubats, but definitely will make adjustments once we get the news with the guys up there. But Zubats himself can give you over 40. He's a bit volatile, but for tournaments, that's sometimes the type of guy you need. Even cash games, typically, still seeing good minutes, just like foul trouble. Hurt him a couple times. Last game, it hurt him. Wasn't able to get into rhythm, but, besides, half the games he's really done well, half the games he's done poor. So I just got to hope you're lucky with him, but it's a good matchup against the Spurs. Maybe not the best individual matchup against Pirtle, but they have been giving it up to centers. But, yeah, that's what I got tonight for this large NBA Slate 11 gamer. Check Twitter for updates. Best of luck tonight. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.